about 3 weeks, 4 weeks before we leave, they'll send us a flight itinerary. And with that itinerary, they'll say be at the Atlanta airport 2 hours before the plane leaves. And then this is exactly how we'll dress, okay? Everybody has to travel in their full scout uniform. That means that you wear your scout uniform. And then the main thing that they say is when you travel, wear your boots. Because when we get to Philmont, if your backpack gets lost in the plane, you can pretty much replace almost everything at Philmont with the exception of your boots. Philmont has what's called the Tooth of Time Trading Post, and it's like an REI. You get there and they have everything, and it's really kind of slick. The other thing to remember too is when we are camping at Philmont, everybody has to sleep in a tent. You're not allowed to sleep outside of a tent. If you do not have a backpacking tent, Philmont will provide backpacking tents, and their tents are good for 2 people. Those tents are a little bit heavier than what you can get as a backpacking tent, but instead of going and spending $200 on a backpacking tent, you can actually pick up a tent at Philmont. So first of all, when we travel, if you guys don't have scout shirts, you'll need to borrow a scout shirt. I would find either an old Eagle Scout or somebody who used to be in Scouts and just borrow their shirt. The type of pants that I'll wear, you don't necessarily want to wear cotton when you're at Philmont, because cotton, once it gets wet, it loses all of its insulative value. What you'll want is something similar to this. What we'll do is when we are at Philmont, realize when we're in the valleys, it can be up to 100 degrees or 110 degrees. And so pretty much here what we would do is we would just unzip and wear shorts. When we are up and we are actually summiting either Phillips or depending on what itinerary we choose, we can actually end up seeing snow. So that kind of gives you an idea of the range that we need to prepare for. From the standpoint of what I do is I'll wear these, and then I'll just unzip them, and then I'll wear shorts the whole time that we're there. Okay, when it comes to your feet, realize your boots are going to be really, really important to you, because if we choose a normal itinerary, it'll probably be around 65 miles. In addition to that, there could be another 10 miles, 8 miles that we do just on side hikes. So we could go 75 miles. When you think of every step you take, you're going to want very good boots. The other thing that you'll want to do is with your boots, there are these things that are called liners. Realize if you start to get a blister or anything at all like that at the beginning, that makes every step you take, you'll actually feel it for the rest of the trip. So what a liner does is a liner is not designed to do anything but pull moisture away from your foot. And moisture is one of the things that causes blisters. So in the packet, in the pages that I handed out, you'll see that it talks about 3 liners. You can get 3 pair of liners at Dick's, REI, Academy Sports, anything along those lines. And then it says bring 3 pairs of backpacking or hiking socks. That's exactly what these are. And then it also says to bring another pair of either tennis shoes, or what I'll do is I'll actually bring a pair of Crocs. Mark and I will actually take Crocs. Crocs are really lightweight, and they're just shoes that you'll wear around camping. The other thing is, I remember last time what they did is they dropped us off, the buses dropped us off, and we went walking, and the very first thing that we came to was a creek that was probably about from here to the wall. And we looked around, and so everybody just started taking their shoes off and just getting ready to walk right across the creek. So you'll want some type of creek shoes in case we do have to cross a creek or something like that. The nice thing was, just in that situation, before we actually crossed the creek, we actually found a log that went across, and so we're actually able to go across and stay dry. But once your feet get wet, the susceptibility to blisters goes up a lot. When we travel, what you're going to want to do is put your backpack in some type of a large duffel bag. Okay, this duffel bag right here I got at Walmart, and it costs $25 or $35 or something like that. Every time I buy a new tent, I always buy the biggest duffel bag that's around there, and this is what I carry my tents in. Last time, the other thing that we used is we also used those big bags that we get from, who is it? That was a dry cleaning company?
Westovers.
The Westovers. And that's another way that you can actually carry your backpacks. What you don't want to do is you don't want your backpack, you don't want to just take your backpack to the airport, because when it's being routed to the plane, the straps can get trapped or stuck, or you can get rerouted and end up in the wrong spot. So that's why you want some type of cover to go with it. Okay, this is the tent that Cameron and I took last time to Philmont. What we do is you actually you put it in a way that you can divide it by two. And so you can see here is the rain fly, on this side is the rain fly, and it's the tent itself. And then over here are actually the stakes. So what we did is Cameron took one, and then I took the other. So whoever your tent mate's going to be, you want to be able to divide up your tent in that manner. That's not the tent that we're taking this time. We're actually going to take, it's a tent that we got from REI, and it's called the Half Dome. Okay, so here is the backpack. And who knows what this is?
Sleeping bag.
Thermo-rest.
It's a Thermo-rest sleeping pad. And what we'll do is we'll just attach it to the very bottom, right here. And so when we are backpacking, it's very nice. And what we'll do is when we get to camp, we'll actually just roll this out and it's self-inflating. So when you go to bed at night, all you have to do is you do basically 2 or 3 puffs. You seal it off, and it gives you about an inch, and it makes a big difference versus just sleeping directly on the ground. These you can get at Dick's. You can get it at REI. There's some that you get that will only cover basically down to your thighs if you really want a lightweight. These will actually go all the way down to the feet. That's a Thermo-rest. Okay, when we go, one of the things that everybody probably ought to take is it's like a little utility knife. This is actually good when you actually boil water. You can actually use it to take the lid off without actually touching it. Everybody does not need one of these. If there's one for every 2 people, that actually works out very, very good. It's got the knife on it. If there's a problem with your tent and grommets or something like this, it's a multi-tool is what it is. I just call it a Leatherman.
Where did you get
This I probably got at Home Depot
Alright.
or at the Outside World or something like that. The other thing that I really like, which I'll just tell you, is there's another multi-tool that comes in a kit from Lowe's, and it's the Cobalt brand, and there's another multi-tool that's a little bit smaller than this, and this is just a little knife. Now remember, if we show up and we're going through the airport and we go through the metal detectors, will this be set off? What will they do if this gets set off?
Get in trouble.
Keep it.
They'll keep it. So you want to make sure that when we're going through the airport, where does this need to be?
In your bag.
In your backpack. If it's in your, now it is funny because Brother Barr, when we went last time, he forgot that he had his pocket knife, and his pocket knife he actually got through security with his pocket knife. So it can happen. Okay, what is this, gentlemen?
Compass.
Compass. Okay, should everybody have a compass?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely we should. What's that? It's a lighter. Okay, we'll definitely want that. Here's another. And then here are, what are these?
Matches.
Matches, okay, and what are they in?
Waterproof container.
Waterproof container. Okay, and what does it mean when the match has the little white thing at the very top?
Self-strike.
Strike anywhere, okay. Is it a good idea to have this?
Yes.
Okay. And so what this is, just so you know, this actually comes off the backpack, and so this can become what's called like a little